Just 20 years ago, we didn't know about the worlds outside our solar system. These places were mysterious to us, ghosts in the many dark nights. Yes, we questioned if life existed elsewhere. It drove us, in a way. We didn't notice that we had only seen the surface of the water. The ocean of the cosmos had yet to be explored. When we finally did find the first extrasolar world, it was an event almost as momentous as the moon landing. Now, modern technology, we're able to take a journey through the universe and visit these worlds beyond the stars. Before our journey into the known unknown, we should define some terms. The word Terran comes from the Latin noun terra, terrae, meaning earth. Therefore, it is a comparison to the temperatures and conditions on the planet Earth. Neptunians and Jovians refer to the planets Neptune and Jupiter respectively, and, again, conditions like that. And hot and cold refer to temperature compared to Earth's average of about 15 degrees Celsius or 58 degrees Fahrenheit. Not to its relative attractiveness, as you might think, though that might be a good metric to consider. Now, we're officially ready to set off into the unknown! First, we start at the top of the list with the Hot Terrans. World's home to strange creatures, and even stranger weather. Welcome to a planet where fire can't burn. Not because of a lack of any ingredients, no, there's plenty of those around here. It's because it's too hot for it to actually burn. Now, these may look like plants, and they are, but they're not adapted for an Earth-like environment. This is the closest to a desert you're going to get outside of Earth. This is more like the planet Venus. Now, in fact,
there's even talk of actually how hot it is. So it's about 400 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit. That's, 14 degrees Celsius, somewhere around there. I'm probably wrong on that measurement, but And it's really, really hot. Now you might be wondering how anything could actually survive here. Well, of course, there's the plants here, and these plants are adapted for sunlight. Now, this planet is really interesting because it has two suns. Now, you can't see any of them; they're back there behind this just large expanse of everything. The sun's setting, but it's really, really hot. That's the only thing that I can say. It's really hot, and there's, remnants of petrified wood or whatever. Seems like this was a forest planet once. This might have once been a water planet, and it's slowly being retaken by the desert and by actual plants down here. So, not exactly the most pleasant place to visit first, but the sacrifices you make for telling.
Now we travel 2,000 light years to a more familiar setting. The warm Terran class.
Welcome to the warm Terran class. Now these types of planets are really, really interesting because they have a great diversity of the types they can be. You can have grasslands, water worlds, or something like this where it's very, very Earth-like, but it's kind of one environment. This is a purely forest planet with large rock formations and a clearly very diverse geological history. So, when you're hiking here, you really notice how the varying amount of oxygen really, affects your hiking ability. So on this world, there's more oxygen, so you kind of feel like it's easier to hike. You're less sweaty, you're less, you really just, it's easier to move. Now in some worlds, when there's less oxygen, you really kind of get tired. It's like a high altitude climber or whatever. Oh, what's that? What's that? There's something. Oh my god, look, there's something over there. Oh my god, okay. Come on. Alright. Oh, look at that. Now, when we think of aliens, we really traditionally think of kind of the humanoid variety and everything, but, if you're looking over there, you kind of see they're really weird. They're going to get so weird because as much as Earth-like as the environment is going to be, it's going to be less, it's not going to be like Earth. Convergent evolution is a thing to an extent. So this is really amazing. This might be the first time human has ever seen, an alien. All right, I think we can move on. Let's go. Now, with all these giant rock formations, like this, behind us here, you can pan over there, see that? There you go. Yeah, so these giant rock formations, you'd think that it'd be really hard for trees to grow, but as you see, there's a lot of diversity. Now, these over here are really kind of not anything we have on Earth. Now, these trees are really, really interesting, and they have this rich history. These are really thin. They have these large kind of fan kind of things at the top here, and that's intended for catching sunlight more effectively because on this planet the sun is a bit closer. So you really have this very, very interesting type of trees and everything. You see, all of them around here are very similar to things we have on Earth, but then slightly altered to an alien ecosystem. So it's really interesting. A lot of mud here and insects and everything, you know. As I mentioned, the sun is much closer. It's still a D-class star, just really close, and that really kind of affects how warm it is here. Yeah, this is really unpleasant. I think, starting to think about getting out of here. I have a warm spaceship, or I guess rather a cool spaceship coming toward me. Let's go.
This is a world of constant ice and snow, a land of perpetual winter. This is a cold tale.
You know, it's really cold here. I don't know why I even decided to come here, but this is really the most interesting type of world. Now, it may look like I'm standing on rock, like we have on Earth, but this isn't rock. No, this is actually ice, and water ice at this. Now, you can kind of see it if you actually look at it really closely, but it's so cold here that the water has turned into rock. And down here, the methane has turned into water. It's really an interesting world and not very pleasant. Yeah, really cold. Now, this is not such a good thing, but it looks like it's, you know, getting to be night here, but really what's happening is this is the moon of a gas giant planet. And moons have a really unique properties when it comes to exoplanets. Now, the tides are really interesting on these places. The tides really rise up more than they should on a, you know, normal Earth-like planet. And also, at the same time, the planet here is about to eclipse the sun. So you're going to watch here as the light slowly dies down and we get a little bit of a momentary night. So let's watch a second. Now, of course, nocturnal animals might come out of this point. Now, you might not think there's a lot of life on a really cold world like this, but there's more than you would expect. There's small worms that go under the ground. There's a bunch of polar bear-like creatures. And it's really unique because, you know, the Earth went through an ice age and it had creatures like this. So it's a world in a perpetual ice age. Alright, I can see the sky getting a little bit darker, the ground getting a little bit darker here. So let's see how this progresses. It's getting really cold. Some wind coming on here. Oh, it's really interesting. Yeah, you can kind of see the outline of it. Alright, yeah. There we go. Just as soon as it eclipsed, it's going back here. Yeah, look at that wind again. Well, this is a really interesting and unique world, but it's a bit too cold for my tastes. Let me get out of here. So I can't actually stand down there because it's a gas giant, and that's kind of the definition of the word. So I'm just going to talk about it from my beautiful, luxury, plain white spaceship. I don't know why they had to give me a plain white one, but I guess you can't be mad about the little things, can you? Now, gas giants are really interesting because unlike Terran planets, they're completely made of gas, as I just stated. Now, they do go through the same temperature range, so there are very Earth-like ones, really, really hot ones, really, really cold ones. So you really have to figure this out. Now, gas giants are interesting for various reasons, but also because life could live there. You know, people think of life being on Earth-like planets, like Terran-like planets. But life could actually live on a gas giant. Now, there should be some sort of visual reference coming out here, so it could be types of algae, or, you know, weird bird creatures without legs, because you don't really need legs on a planet that's completely atmosphere, as I've said about 15 times now. Now that our little interstellar adventure is done, I have some more important matters to attend to. There's a certain second star to the right that's just calling my name.